beautiful Tuesday afternoon. What is up? Or sorry, Tuesday evening where I am at. Maybe it's afternoon where you guys are at. Welcome, welcome. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, hit that bell notification so you can be reminded of every time that I go live, every time that I drop a short, every time that I drop a post, or even a video, so that you guys are in the know. And so I was going to go live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, but I thought, you know what, I still need to eat, and I need to relax, I need to unwind, and all that. What's up, Noble? What's up? I need to unwind, I need to relax. So I thought I'm just going to go live today at 5 instead of 7. What is it, man? Like, what is it? Comment below what it is. Comment below what it is. I went live at 6 this morning. I was going to go live at 9, but then, all right, well, comment below what it is. Comment below what it is. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Today is the 7th. What is it? Okay, so, dang, every time I need to use my iPad, every time I need to use the iPad, it always spazzes it out on me. So, I want to read to you a list, a comprehensive list. And if any of this, oh wow. If any of the things on this list, oh my gosh, tell me it's not in, oh my gosh, it's not in here. Okay, so let me, so I'm going to read some things. That's not it. It's not there. I lost it. Oh, my iPad's spazzing out on me. So I was wanting to try to read some things. I may have to slam this sucker up against something. Hold on. Let me mute this. Okay, I just had to almost darn near break my iPad just to get it to work. So I'm going to read you a list. I read this to people a lot who are going through stuff like you're going through. Because what a lot of people don't realize is we open up doors. So we open up doors to the demonic by having certain things in our house. And I'm also waiting for the question button to appear on here so I can have a live Q&A. So if any of these items are in your house, bro, like these are open doors. These open up doors to the demonic. I've done countless deliverance sessions on people, and they had one or more of these items in their house, on their possession. So number one is demonic movies. Now, this is going to wrestle with a lot of feathers, ruffle a lot of feathers. And I'm going to give an explanation why this category is an open door from my own personal experience as well as others. So, number one is demonic movies, which means horror movies, vulgar things. Horror movies promote fear, which is the opposite of God. When one watches a horror movie, they usually feel terrified and also feel as though something is in the room with them. The Bible says that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Horror movies, in essence, open the door for multiple demons to enter into your home and your life. So, personally speaking, in my own life, I have gone through a literal hell on earth and have seen demons in my home, in my parents' house growing up as a teen because of this very reason. My dad is an elder of the church that he's been in for a long time, and he kept telling me, don't open up the door to these things. He kept telling me, don't open up the door. Don't open up the door. Because when you open up the door, you let these things in. You can't decide what comes in and what don't. Because every time you do watch a horror movie, something enters the room with you. It enters in and it does not leave until it is casted out, until it is rebuked. And that door is closed. Now, you can't rebuke a demon while the door is still open because it will come and go. You can only rebuke it and it will only leave when the door is fully shut. And I'm still waiting on this Q&A to pop up. And so in my own experience, when I was watching horror movies, I literally felt stuff enter into the room. And I had such fear that I have never experienced before in my life. I started going through sleep paralysis, which means it's a medical term for when demons physically hold you down. It means when demons physically hold you down where you cannot physically move your body. And in some cases, people could not physically talk. They go to scream, and when they go to scream during it, they are prevented from doing so. And so when you open up the door and let these things in, this is the result of it. Demons do not play fair. They do not play fair. They play for keeps. They make it look interesting. They make it look intriguing to draw you in. And when they can draw you in, that's when they slaughter you. That's when they have their way with you and torture you and torment you. Number 2 is tarot card and angel cards, which that enters into the realm of witchcraft and necromancy and soothsaying. Now, everything that I'm going to be saying has a verse to go with it. Everything that I'm going to be reading on here has a verse to go with it. Come on, Q&A. Pop up. Q&A. Okay, never mind. Forget waiting on them. Okay, here we go. Where I want to move it at, it won't let me. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So, tarot and angel cards falls under divination, which is witchcraft and highly is forbidden. Leviticus 19, I was almost there. Leviticus 19:31 says, do not turn to mediums or consult spiritists, or you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. And so that is one thing. Astrology items, including zodiac signs. What a lot of people don't realize about zodiac signs is zodiac signs wasn't originally meant to say, oh, I'm a this and this and this, so this is how my actions are. I'm a this and this and this, so I'm super strict, or I'm a like whatever it is, then I'm a this. This is how I'm going to act if this is my zodiac sign. But what 99.94% of people don't realize with zodiac signs is zodiac signs wasn't meant for everybody to use how they are using right now. They were originally created and meant to be used for witches and witchcraft. So each zodiac sign has a different logo. And those logos, the animals on there represent different demons. And they even admit this. The creator of the zodiac sign or whatever admits to this type of thing. And so each of the zodiac sign was created so that a witch could tell what their craft was. And they could be able to tell what another witch's craft was. That's what that's what zodiac signs were originally created for. They were originally created for that very purpose. So that witches could be able to tell another witch. So they could be able to tell what their own craft was so they can operate in it. That's what originally that was for. But we have people wanting to claim that they're a number 10 on the McDonald's menu with the happy toy, like with the toy or whatever the case may be. I've been asked a lot of what my sign is, my zodiac sign. I said, hey, I don't do that. Like, I don't mess with zodiac signs whatsoever. Like, I don't mess with that because it's demonic and it's witchcraft. Because if it has its roots in witchcraft. And I've talked to people about this, several people, and they were shocked when they found out zodiac signs is rooted in witchcraft and the Wiccan occult to help other witches with their craft and how to do it. Which is big demonic. Number 4 is Ouija boards. Again, like demonic movies, horror movies, it opens up the door to demons, multiple demons coming in. It opens up the door to multiple demons entering into your life. Because I used to be a necromancer. I used to be able, what's up? I used to be able to try to talk to the dead. Before I was saved, I would try to talk to my dead relatives and all of this. And because I was watching stuff about it, so I thought, you know what? I want to talk to my grandpa who I lost tragically. And I wanted to communicate with him. And I thought, oh, this is cool. Because the spirit of witchcraft in the Greek is the spirit of Python, which witchcraft comes from the Koine Greek word Python or Pythonus or Pythonis, which is where we get our English word Python from. How did I do what? How did I, what's her name? Sincerely, how did I do what? So, what that spirit does, what the spirit of witchcraft does is it, oh my gosh, this is, my iPad's freaking out on me. Anyways, I'm going to have to wait on that until my iPad clears up. Whatever questions you guys may have, as long as it's done in respect, comment your Bible questions below if you're curious. If you have any questions on the Word of God, how do you talk? I don't talk to dead relatives because what people don't realize is, right, there is what is called a familiar spirit. There is what is called a familiar spirit. And these familiar spirits watch you from the day that you are born until the day that you die. And so these demons know every single intricate thing about you. They watch you when you sleep. They watch how you sleep. They watch how you talk. They listen to your responses to people. They know everything about you as a person. They're collecting information. So when you die and your family or your friends want to go to a medium or a necromancer, which is called, that demon that's been watching you, that person will summon that demon to them, and that demon will tell that person everything that you would want that person to know after you die. So they will respond in a way you will respond. And since they know everything about you more than yourself, in fact, to take it a step further, they will go down your ancestry line. They will go down to your great-great-great-grandparents, and they know how they were. They know what they struggled with, and they know what they accomplished and what they were strong in. So they will gather all that information all the way down your bloodline, and they will give that stuff not only to you when you were born, but also to that medium. which is how they are able to tell you so much stuff about yourself, even when you did not give that person any information. People want to say, oh, it's fake. Oh, that person gave that person information. No. This stuff is 100% real. This stuff is 100% real, which is why God warns against it, because it's deadly and it's dangerous. Because what they want to do is they want you to fall for the bait. They want you to take the bait and get entrapped by it. Because let's just be honest. Let me share something else. This is how sick these demons are. So you lose your loved one, right? Say your grandma, you were super close to your grandma and she dies. She passes away. You're struggling with this. You're depressed. You're grieving. You're hurting. You're upset. These demons do not care that you're going through all this stuff. They do not care that you are emotional. They do not care that you're hurting. Instead, they want you to be hurting so they can take advantage of you, so they can do their sick, twisted things to you, such as manipulate you to get you to believe that you are talking to your grandma. Like, it is so disgusting what they do, amongst a trillion other things that they do. It's not your dead loved one that's speaking to you, but it is a demon. Now, if this is you, now don't be embarrassed because that you've done this, because I've done it. Like, again, on my channel, on my YouTube channel, when you guys go to subscribe or whatever, or check it out, on my YouTube channel, my very first live video, I did a testimony. So my very first live video I did on here was a testimony. And Noble, you said that you're Hispanic. You said that you're half Mexican, half black. So with that, so Spanish culture, Mexican culture is rooted deep in witchcraft. And Santa Muerte, for example, Santa Muerte is a very deep rooted witchcraft culture. And in fact, one of Mexico's very popular dishes, I forgot exactly what it's called, but the Aztecs, they would commit cannibalism. They would sacrifice a human. No, I'm not saying that. It's ancestral. It's an ancestral thing. Like, for example, there were different Latinas I was talking to for a relationship in the past, and they had a generational curse of witchcraft. It was a generational thing. And so their mom wasn't heavy in witchcraft, and so was their grandma, and so were they. So it's a generational thing. And so they have this dish in Mexico, which they had to change now when the Catholics did their crusade in Mexico. But before the Catholics did their crusade in Mexico, they had a dish where the Aztecs killed people, made their sacrifices to their gods, cut out their heart and their different organs, and made a soup out of it. It's very popular in Mexico and even in American Mexican restaurants. But because the Catholics did their crusades, they had to change. They had to get rid of that recipe, get rid of cannibalism, and put chicken and beef in there. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of Mexicans that I've listened to and that I've talked to have struggled with witchcraft. In fact, there is a well-known minister. He's Mexican. He's Spanish. Another Hispanic person, Richard Lorenzo Jr. He was so deep in witchcraft. In fact, he met Beyonce's family and Beyonce's sister over in Haiti doing voodoo practices. In fact, Richard Lorenzo Jr. was in the process of becoming a dual inducted warlock by a high-ranking warlock in Haiti, where Beyonce and her family do their voodoo practices at. Which is why Beyonce climbed the success ladder that she did, and that's where all her success came from. It's from voodoo, from witchcraft, from demons. because we see in the Gospels how Satan offered Jesus the kingdoms of the world. Satan offered Jesus, if you bow down to me or whatever, I'll offer you the kingdoms of the world. So Satan was able to do this, and he's doing this with the celebrities. He's doing this with the celebrities. He's saying, hey, if you worship me, I will make you famous. If you do this, I'm going to help you rise to fame. Sorry, if you do this, this is going to happen again. Satan offered this to Jesus in the Gospels when Jesus was first starting his public ministry. He was offering Jesus the kingdoms of the world because he's the prince of this world. And he is able to do this because God gave dominion to Adam to rule the earth. And when Adam sinned and Eve disobeyed God, they gave up that right. They forfeited that. They gave the keys over to Satan. So when Adam sinned and Eve disobeyed God in the Garden of Eden, when Adam was to have dominion over the earth, because originally humans were to have dominion over the earth. But because of sin, Adam gave those keys over to Satan, which the Bible says he's the prince of this air, the God of this age. If he was able to give the kingdoms of the world to Jesus, then he is able to give it to men. We are seeing celebrities left and right just automatically blow up, and they are a part of demonic cults, Freemasonry, Illuminati, and other demonic cults. Jeffrey Epstein, for example, Diddy, for example, and all of that. They have to sell out, quote unquote, sell themselves over. For example, a lot of people don't know this about Rihanna. A lot of people don't know that when Rihanna went to sign the record deal with Jay-Z and his record company, Jay-Z told her, mind you, she was like on what, the 32nd or the 33rd floor in the building, and Jay-Z and them told her, if you don't sign this. So, okay, let me back it up. So when Rihanna was first starting and Jay-Z went to sign her on to their deal, Def Jams, I think it was called, maybe it was something else, but Jay-Z told her, the only way you can leave this building is, if you don't want to sign, the only way you can leave here is out that window, which means to her death. So Jay-Z was saying, either you sign this record deal with us and you can walk out the door with us, or you can refuse to sign it and die. And mind you, they had a humongous party. This lasted from what, 5 in the evening until the next day, until like midnight or 3 in the morning the next day, in that same room when Rihanna went to sign on with Jay-Z. All of this stuff is facts, and people in the music industry was mentioning this. Nino Brown, or I think another one, exposed this. And look what we've seen happening with Rihanna and Jay-Z. They're deep in the Illuminati and all of that. And the Illuminati is part of Satanism, same with Freemasonry. Like they say Glorilla, they said they got Glorilla as well. And they got a lot of these rappers sold out to get a record. Why do you think DaBaby and some of the other ones fell off? Tom McDonald refused to go through a record label. Another thing people don't realize is when they signed that contract, when all these rappers that you see, when they signed that contract, they signed their life away. And not only that, they do not actually physically own all that money. Why do you think a lot of rappers go bankrupt? Why do you think a lot of rappers go broke while they're signed to the record label and even afterwards? They don't actually own all of that money, and another rapper in the industry exposed that. So when you see them flashing all that cash, when you see them flexing all their cars and jewelry and houses, they don't technically own that money because they have to pay all that stuff back. Look at Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez exposed the music industry And look what happened to him. Look what happened like with Whitney Houston and her daughter. Look what happened to what's her name? Not Ashanti, Aaliyah. Look at Aaliyah. But they also said Aaliyah was in a cursed movie prior to her death. And who was Aaliyah signed with and connected with? Jay-Z and Diddy. And this was proven fact. R. Kelly had Aaliyah in his living room. Her parents literally brought her to his house. And they had on matching pajamas when she was a minor and he was a full-grown adult. But the parents didn't get arrested for that, but R. Kelly did. R. Kelly got arrested for that, but the parents did not. Elvis Presley sold out. Before Elvis Presley died, he was dating a minor. And this is proven fact. He was dating a minor before he died. And in one of his music videos or movies, he had an 11-year-old girl on there while he was in a relationship with a minor. When Paul Walker was killed in his car crash back in November of 2013, he was also in a relationship with a minor. Diddy was in a relationship with all these minors. A lot of your celebrities aren't who you think they are because Satan got to them. Look at Gucci Mane. Look at Gucci Mane. Everyone that signed to his record label is either dead or in prison or under investigation. Just look at everybody that signed to Gucci Mane is either dead or under investigation or facing the amount of time that his record label says. I'm just saying. Satan has, look at all these movie stars, all of these Hollywood actors. Hey, you need some mustard because your life is boring, bro. Your life is boring. Oh, I don't use ketchup. I prefer barbecue sauce in my life. And I'm not stressed out whatsoever. In fact, I'm pretty chill. I was actually going to relax this evening. In fact, I was going to relax, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to go live at 5. Because after this, I'm relaxing. I ain't stressed. You got me tripping, homie. Your mom's stressed out because she don't know who her father is, who your father is. I'm just saying, your mom's stressed out about who her next man's gonna be. I mean, figure that out first, then we can talk. And tell your mom to, to quit acting like Heinz and being on all those hot dogs, man. But yes, like we see what happens when celebrities sell out. Hey, bro. Hey, Mr. Monkey Balls. No, man, we can't even take you serious with a name like that. I mean, I can't even take, man, like man, these people be dumb, man. But yeah, a lot of your celebrities, a lot of people in Hollywood and the music industry, what else? In sports, especially in sports, they're sold out. Why do you, like Tom McDonald has, I think he said in an interview how it was harder for him to rise as an independent artist because of it. Like, for example, the Christian music industry. So, Capitol Christian Music Group, right? I was actually I stayed near Capitol Records in Los Angeles. I been near Capitol Record Music. I seen it and everything. But Capitol Christian Music Group, CCMG, owned by Capitol, is also owned by Sony Music. So Sony Music is behind all the Christian music and all the regular other secular music. So I learned this through, I forgot who it was, but Sony owns all the music under Capitol Records. It's Sony. And it's just, even people in Christian music industry sold out. One Christian artist was saying it costs about $1,000 to $3,000 just to have a song on the radio. It costs about $1,000 to $3,000 just to be able to have your song on the radio. And if you pay attention to radio stations, they only play the hit songs that Capitol Records and these companies, big music companies, push to them to push to the people. You may hear them play some older music from like the early 2000s or like 2012, 2016, but not as much as you hear the mainstream music, which is why I quit listening to like radio stations altogether, because they only play mainstream stuff. And I got tired of hearing the same mainstream song 20,000 different times in the month. It was ridiculous. But when it comes to Christmas music, they will play all the older stuff. Not much of the mainstream. They may play some of it, but not much. And so, it's so sad. Like, it really is so sad. Exactly. Coming at me with the name Mr. Monkey Balls. Like, how are you going to come at me and try to throw shade at me when you got a name like that? I mean, come on now, man. Like, where are you, 11? Like I really wish, Noble, I really wish they had a setting on YouTube, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, hey, Diamond, she could really troll. Like, I have seen people literally lose their marbles when she stepped in and started trolling. Yeah, now imagine if YouTube had a restriction on it, right? We already have restrictions where it says no, not made for kids. And you also say, but don't restrict it to people under 18. Now imagine if YouTube changed that policy where if it shows a visible grown adult, right? A visible grown adult. And if you're a kid under the age of 18 and you try to hop onto it, you have to prove with an ID that you are of age, that you are 18 and over. What if YouTube started doing that? Like, I would love for that to happen, because to be honest with you, I don't want nobody under 18 on my channel whatsoever. I've had eight-year-olds show up and just start saying that. I'm like, what the heck? How did you find your way onto my channel? Like how in the world? Like, they really need to really crack down on these age restrictions on YouTube. Like, in order to be even on a live stream, you have to be able to prove that you are 18 and older. You can't just click, yes, I'm 18. No, I'm not. It should be it should be enforced everywhere on YouTube. If you live stream, the people that watch that are not of age, they have to prove that they're of age, or else they cannot join that person's live stream. Because let's be real, kids destroy everything. Kids ruin a good thing, which is why all parents say, I can't have nothing to myself. I can't do anything by myself because you ruin it. Kids ruin everything, let's be honest. At times they're a blessing, but like this, they ruin everything. See, what kids don't realize, right? Trolling can lead you up to being investigated by the police. And especially when trolls want to take videos, right? Every single video that a creator makes and puts on their channel is automatically copyrighted to them. And so if someone else steals your content and by taking your clips and manipulates them, or whatever the case may be, that is technically a federal crime. And the FBI can step in if they choose to do so, if it is important enough. Same with swatting and a bunch of other things. They don't realize that swatting, right? A lot of kids don't realize that swatting not only is a felony, it's a top tier felony, which means you will get hit with an act with terrorism, with an act of terrorism, because swatting falls under terrorism. And if someone dies in the midst of that because the police think there is an actual threat going on and they kill an innocent person, then you're cooked, because they're able to pull up your... You know how many people that got arrested across the United States for swatting somebody in a whole other state because of that? The FBI raided their house and arrested them for terrorism, which means if you're 13 and you somehow, because your mom did not raise you right, because your daddy died, or your dad just decided to give up raising you because you was an embarrassment or whatever the case may be, or your mom was a joke, and because you have no structure in your life, you choose to literally destroy someone else's life and reputation, and you decide to, let's say, hey, let's just out of some fun and humor, kicks and giggles, we do this thing, not realizing that it can be traced back to you. That call can be traced back to you and your IP address, and your mom's wondering why the FBI, Homeland Security, and the local PD is raiding your house, taking your devices, and arresting you, and you're 13 years old, or whatever the age you may be. And if someone does end up dying in the midst of that act, then not only are you hit with a terrorism felony, which is a very high class felony, you're also hit with a manslaughter charge. So you're hit with terroristic charges and you're hit with manslaughter charges. And you're looking at a lot of time. You're looking at a lot of time in prison. They'll have you complete your prison term in juvie and also federally, because it's a federal crime. Now, if the person dies, again, like I said, if the person dies in the midst of swatting, then not only are you hit with a terrorism charge, you're hit with a manslaughter charge. Don't matter your age. They'll still try you as an adult. In fact, people want to say, oh, they're kids. They're kids. That does not matter. It does not matter. Put them on the stand like an adult. They wanted to do a grown adult crime, they can do a grown adult time. There are kids. I actually watched such a horrifying documentary on YouTube about kids that were like, oh yeah, I noticed that. There are kids, right? They say, oh, don't try them as an adult. But yet, there were these two kids. One was like, 5? Another one was 10 years old. And they brutally murdered and sodomized another kid younger than them. And the courts gave them, 8 years total? And one of the kids, I think, either killed himself. No, I think one kid changed his life around and started doing good. But the other kid went on to commit a string of crime. And I think they ended up giving him life. Another kid brutally murdered a young girl and everything like that as a very young kid. And there are like young kids that are serial killers. So I'm just saying it doesn't matter. But yeah, like me, for example, I have like close friends of mine that I grew up with that are in the police department. So all I got to do is tell them, hey, if you guys get any random calls saying that I did X, Y, and Z or whatever it is, that I definitely did not do those things. Because 1, I don't own any weapons. For 2, all of that, like they know that I don't commit crimes. Like they know that. And all I got to do is just give them a tip. Be like, hey, since I stream on YouTube and all of this, and this stuff happens to people, that, hey, it's not me. Somebody else did it. And they're able to track that phone down. And it's It's so sad. It is so sad. But yeah, it's just, I don't even really know what to talk about because I wasn't even going to go live this evening. I was going to take this evening off because I finally got back on a regular sleep schedule. And another thing. Yeah, another thing. It's kind of crazy, right? How, I gotta check my email, see if Candace Owens messaged me back. Real quick. Oh, where is it? Nope. What are you gonna ask me? I'm still waiting on Candace Owens' message. She's on vacay right now. Yeah, doxing is also illegal. It is highly illegal. Oh, my iPad's not connected to the internet. That's why it's not. That's why you gotta get a very good VPN. NordVPN or whatever. That's why you gotta have connections. That's why you gotta have connections in the police department. Because if you have solid connections in the police department who really know you well, then whatever happens, they can automatically disregard it. And then that other person gets prosecuted by the feds. Oh my gosh, why is this thing tweaking out on me? Hold on. Yeah, my one of my close friends is a detective in my city, in my town, and he knows I wouldn't do whatever they said I did. Uh, what's that called? So doxing is now a criminal offense. Okay, that's federal. Let's see. So it's currently civil right now. Oh, so in Illinois, it is ranked under 740 ILCS 195. It's civil. Oh, it can. See, it says doxing is not a standalone federal crime, but it can be prosecuted under multiple federal laws when it involves threats, harassment, or targeting protected individuals. So, doxing is defined as the intentional public release of private or identifying information without consent. It is not explicitly banned by a single federal statute. However, federal law criminalizes many harmful forms of doxing depending on intent and consequences. For example, the federal stalking statute 18 U.S. Code 2261A makes it illegal to use electronic communications to place someone in reasonable fear of death, serious bodily injury, or substantial emotional distress, which aligns with the most dangerous forms of doxing. Convictions under this statute can result up to 5 years in prison, with higher penalties if serious injury, permanent disfigurement occurs, and additional penalties if the victim is a minor. What you could do is you can put in a federal, I don't know if you can do this federally, you can put in a federal harassment as a federal harassment report. Because if it crosses interstate, it's federal automatically. So for example, if a man goes to to solicit a minor for illicit purposes, and they do it online, and they go to meet up with that person gets hit with a lot of federal crimes, as well as judicial crimes, because it happened online from another state, and they traveled states to do that crime. So it's federal. So if it's from another state, surely you can get it federally prosecuted. Hold on. It's tweaking out on me. Yeah, it's terrible. I about typed in that. Oh my gosh. No. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Why? Oh my God, my iPad's tweaking out on me. My iPad is tweaking out on me. Hold on. Yep, I just broke my iPad even more. But it's not going to do that again. Let's see. Doxing can become a federal crime if it involves interstate activity, threats, or harassment that crosses state boundaries, even if the person targeted is in another state. So yes, you can file a federal harassing report about it, because like it says, it can become a federal crime if it involves interstate activity. Like I said, anything that crosses different states becomes federal. So it says crossing state lines. For example, if the doxer travels to another state to post or share the information, or if the harassment violence occurs across state lines. So again, it says if the harassment or violence occurs across state lines, then it is federal. It's no longer civil or judicial, it's federal. Sending threats or engaging in harassment through email, social media, or other electronic means across state lines. So here are the federal statutes that back this up. 18 USC 2261A says internet stalking, cyber stalking prohibits traveling across state lines to engage in a course of conduct that places someone in reasonable fear of death or serious bodily injury or causes substantial emotional distress. This can cover doxing with intent to harass or intimidate. 18 USC 875C, threats via interstate communications. I hope kids listen to this, because if you do this, you not only become a felon, secondly, in federal prisons, you have to serve at least 85% of your conviction, or 100%. So if you get hit with a 15-year sentence, you got to serve all 15 of that, or at least 13 and a half years. And not only does that happen, it's on your background too. It's on your record. So that prohibits transmitting threats to injure or harm someone across state lines or via interstate channels. 18 USC 1028 identity theft. If the doxing involves unauthorized access to or use of personal data for fraud or other purposes. Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, CFAA, if the doxing involves illegal access to systems to obtain the information. There you go, bro. That's all you need to know. Did I really damage my iPad that bad? But yeah. Man, this thing's old. I had this thing forever. Like, my iPad is all cracked. It's broken. I dropped it all on the thing. Like, this is what? From this... Oh, what happened was I decided to have this really smart idea to bring my iPad to work one day when I was at the hotel. And I had my hands full with trash, laundry, and stuff, and my iPad in my arms. It happened to fall and hit the corner. It fell and hit the corner, and I do have some World Cup pictures on my deal. But it hit the corner, and it split the screen. And then during the winter time, I was walking outside. One of my coworkers, she's actually like 6'1", 6'2". Is Mexico out of the game? Like, are they out for good? Is Mexico out for good? Because I remember that one night when they played, who was it that they played? That game was intense. That game was so intense. They ended up beating them like 2-3-0. Dang, man. America beat the UK, but Mexico can't seem to beat the UK. But yeah, it was bad. She was walking. I'm like, hey, don't slip. And she's like, oh, I won't fall. And as soon as I walked out on the snow, that's when I slipped and fell. And when I fell, my iPad hit the ground, and it cracked again. I thought, oh my gosh. And ever since then, it just starts hitting. It starts tweaking, spazzing out. It starts hitting random things. And so, yeah, it started spazzing out on its own. It will literally click me out of apps, click on random apps. For example, let's see if it does it. Oh, it's not doing it right now. Oh, it decides to behave right now. But yeah, it spazzed it out. So I've been studying the Charlie Kirk investigation, right? Another thing I was going to talk about. I've been studying the Charlie Kirk investigation. And early yesterday morning, the plot came to me of what happened. Oh, please. So I talked to Candace Owens about this yesterday. Where is it? So a lot of stuff involving... What's up, Carol? So I talked to Candace Owens yesterday about the Charlie Kirk investigation. And I did a lot of deep diving into it. I talked to law enforcement about it. I got blocked by a lot of people by exposing the truth. But that's okay. Truth is offensive. But so... early yesterday morning, I forgot when it was. When did I type this out to her? When did I send this to her? If it lets me. Let's see. So, I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so my day's been going pretty great, Carol. What about yourself? What about yourself? I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling out, hanging out. I originally wasn't going to go live, but I'm like, screw it. Yeah, I did some investigating on the Charlie Kirk deal. I looked into his wife. So I have friends that have been murdered. One of my childhood friends' dad was murdered by an old friend of mine's younger brother, and she got invested. She had to literally harass the police. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. She had to harass the police for like 6 months. It took the police 6 months here in order to investigate her dad's murder. And they ended up arresting him on 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of second-degree murder, all on the same guy, only to end up dropping those charges and getting him with aggravated assault. And he got out on bond and then got arrested again for violating his bond, his pretrial release for aggravated identity theft. Identity theft. And I'm like, wow, bet. Oh, okay, okay. So, I've been listening to a lot. I've been listening to what Candace Owens said and has been saying. I've mainly been doing my own investigations, and a lot of what I came to, a lot of the conclusions that I came to again is what Candace Owens also been speaking out on, and what a lot of people also have been speaking out on. So, I talked to Candace Owens yesterday. And whether she responds to it or not, that's up to her. Or she makes a video about it, that's cool. I'm not worried about that. But I told her, so I said I want to get down to business. And the point, I have been investigating the murder of Charlie Kirk. And none of it is being handled properly. For example, when Charlie Kirk got murdered, his phone, his necklace, his SUV is supposed to be considered evidence until the investigation is 100% complete. It's not even, they're not even, so after the murder happened, Erica Kirk was given his phone and his necklace. And later on, not too long ago, that SUV that had him in it, that carried him to the hospital, was auctioned off. When that is literally still considered an active crime scene. Is still a considered active crime scene. And the actual physical, the other physical crime scene, the spot where he was assassinated at, got literally paved over the next day. So they said with explosive residue, that stuff goes deep into the ground. It goes deep into the ground. And that was supposed to be it's supposed to be excavated, but they were supposed to use that in their investigation, but they didn't. So instead of grabbing that dirt, which was also evidence as well, and other parts of that land, of that college campus, that was also evidence as well, they chose to pave over it. They chose to get rid of the evidence. And now, this is another thing that came out during the court procession yesterday, was that the officer's body cam, where he was up on the alleged roof, right where it happened, he said that his body camera was off during that time, and he had no way to charge it, no way to get another one, and no way to charge it. And I thought that is very odd. I thought that's strange. And so I told her how I have been investigating the murder of Charlie Kirk, and none of it is being handled properly, as we all know. But this new revelation shocked me that no one knows about, but was revealed to me a tiny bit ago at 5:20 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'll share it below. And I told her this literally came to me with the Charlie Kirk situation. Erica Kirk is being exposed for so much stuff, but what was revealed to me was shocking. Here it is in what we witnessed and are currently witnessing. I said, in order to take someone out, you have to get as close to them as you can. This means you need to join that person's team and organization, gain trust and respect over a period of time there, and with that person and with that person's organization. Wait patiently. Don't rush, because that leads to suspicion and ruins everything. So I'm basically exposing Erica Kirk and all of their plan. and how this was all set up, because mind you, before weeks prior to the assassination, one of Charlie Kirk's PR guy came to him saying, hey, let's take Turning Point USA to the next level. And he had a phone call with that PR guy in the Hamptons with a dinner meal and a phone call, and millions, I mean millions upon millions of dollars was involved with this deal. And so when he brought that request to Charlie Kirk to take Turning Point USA to the next level, Charlie Kirk said, whoa, no, like, hey, no, like this, like, no, I'm calling this off. No, we are not taking TP USA to the next level. Now, again, massive people, massive donors and the like were hitting Charlie up. And they said that Charlie knew way too much. They were saying Charlie knew more than what he was letting on. And which led to this secret phone call. Now, again, this phone call has been proven as true. This has been documented as true and been admitted and everything. By, I think Erica Kirk admitted to it as well or something. But after Charlie Kirk turned down that, I got a notification. After Charlie Kirk turned down that deal of taking TP USA to the next level, shortly afterwards, Andrew Kovat and other people lost millions of dollars. Like, they literally lost millions upon millions of dollars when Charlie Kirk turned down their offer, turned down their deal. Mind you, they were making up to $150 to $200 million a year. So mind you, Candace Owens is making roughly $5 million to $6 million a year. TP USA was bringing in close to $200 million a year. With that being the case, shortly after that phone call, he was assassinated. And now, what else? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to bring up major points. So it started spazzing out on me again. Like and subscribe to the channel, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and the whole 9 yards. I totally forgot to say that. So back to the news. So I told her. So this is what they were doing. They were gaining trust and respect over a period of time with that person. Wait patiently. Don't rush, because that leads to suspicion and ruins everything. Patience and timing is key. During the patience time, get connections and be connected to different people. Then have meetings privately. So gain connections. Then have meetings privately. Again, wait patiently. Don't rush. After a period of time has gone by, set the plan up to be executed and carry it out precisely. So anyways, I was basically talking with Candace about how they literally was so strategic about this and everything like that. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. But yeah, I'm about to hop off here. I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. God bless.